Satvikam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Vishnuprishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Kauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. सब भक्तों को मेरा आदरणीय प्रणाम. So आज का सेशन में I just wanted to give a small story. The story is a philosophical story. And this has been given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I just want to refer to this story. So this story is actually from the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. So if you see, that is the reference of the story. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was instructing, when he was wanted to instruct about the real goal of life. In this connection, he actually was commenting from one of Madhvacharya's commentary, and this is taken from the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this story, what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was instructing, so that the living entity can understand that what is his real goal of life. So that is why he actually gives this story. So in this story, there was a poor man, and this poor man, he goes to an astrologer because of his poor condition. So he actually felt that an astrologer can help me in resolving my poor condition. So he goes there to an astrologer to receive instructions from him. And the name of that astrologer was Sarvajna. So as the poor man approached Sarvajna for actually asking about his future, so then the astrologer Sarvajna, he saw that poor man's horoscope, and by just seeing the horoscope of that poor man, like the Sarvajna, the astrologer, became very astonished. He was seeing the astrologer, was seeing his horoscope, and then he was seeing that poor person, and he becomes very surprised, and then he asked that poor man that, why are you so unhappy? Then he says that because of my condition, material condition, I am very, very happy. Then he says, see, your horoscope is saying that your horoscope is looking very, very bright. As per your horoscope, there is a hidden treasure that your father has actually left. There is a big treasure which your father has left. And your horoscope is indicating that. And I don't know how actually you have become so poor, but your horoscope is saying that your father has kept a big treasure for you. But unfortunately, he has not disclosed this to you because he actually died in a foreign place. So before he could disclose this treasure to you, he has died without disclosing this treasure where he has kept. But now you can actually search for this treasure, and then when you get this treasure, you will be very, very happy. So this is the first part of the story. So this example, what analogy Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling is that the poor man is like we, the jivas, and the astrologer is like a spiritual master. And the treasure, what the poor man's father, what the treasure he had kept is compared to the treasure that the Supreme Lord has given us. The hidden treasure, the Supreme Father is actually the father of the poor man is compared to Krishna. So the treasure is actually the love of Godhead. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. So actually, we are also like this poor man. We have actually been given this treasure of devotional service by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we do not realize that we are actually the son of a wealthiest personality. He is full in all opulences, and is full with all these things. Because we have forgot our real positions, we are actually not approaching our Supreme Father. Our Father is already very, very rich. He has all the property, but we don't know where to find it. So that is why how the spiritual master and the Vedic scriptures help us actually to dig out this treasure of love of Godhead. So then coming back to the story, then actually the astrologer Sarvajna tells, further advises the poor man. Okay, now that you have the treasure in front of your from your horoscope, I see that the treasure is near your house only. Now that you have to dig out and find that treasure. So he says, so when you are going to dig this treasure, now there are different sides. Like right, when a house is there, we have different sides: south, west, east, north. Right. So then he says to the poor man that when you are digging treasure, you ensure that you don't go and dig the treasure on the south of your house, because there in the southern side there is a poisonous snake, wasp, that is actually there. So be careful when you are digging for treasure. You don't dig on the southern side, he says. And then he says, try to dig on the eastern side, because there in the eastern side, the sunlight actually comes very nicely. So you have great chance of actually getting this treasure there in the eastern side. So what actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, or what the astrologer is actually trying to say is, on the just like our life, there are like various paths for us to go back to Godhead. So similarly, one of the path, the southern side with which actually the astrologer is actually mentioning is here, is compared to the Vedic rituals. So this Vedic rituals is like a poisonous snake. Uh, you end up doing this for some material benefit, Vedic rituals for some material benefit, and caught within it. So he says, be aware of that. Don't get into it and then be bitten from it. So he gives an indication, and then he gives an indication that on the eastern side where the sun rises, there is actually every chance that you can find the treasure. So why he is saying here eastern side is because, so even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, right, so Krishna Surya Sama, Maya hai Andakar. He says, right, Krishna is like the Surya. He actually removes that ignorance which is created by Maya. So we are actually suffering in this material world because of the covering that Maya has actually put us in the three modes of material nature. That is why we are not getting interest in our chanting. That's why we are not able to fully focus. Whenever we are trying to focus on our japa, something pops up in our mind. Oh, I should do this, I should do that activity. All the plannings actually happens when we actually sit for chanting, right? So why? Because of the andakar, because we don't know the importance of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Because this is actually where we can find the real treasure that we are not able to know. So that Chaitanya Prabhu is saying that your treasure is actually in the right hand side where the Surya, where the sun actually rises. So where the sun rises, the darkness actually goes off. So that is why he says, that is why it is compared also. Krishna is Surya Sama. Surya Sama means where the light is coming, and Maya is Andakar. So when the light is there, there is no chance of Andakar. That's what actually the astrologer is saying. Go and try to search your treasure in the right, on the eastern side of your house. And then again he indicates also, on the north side also you should not go and search, and on the western side also you should not go and search. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again gives us example here that this northern side is actually referring to the meditational yoga. So this is another path where you can actually get lost. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says this meditational yoga is like a snake, like a python. So when you enter into it, like it's like merging one with the self. So be careful with that also. With that also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is indicating that you can like people, some of the yogis have intention to merge with the Lord. So this is like that. So he gives the example of a python. Just like a small snake is actually eaten up by a big snake. So similarly, here a jiva also may be actually merging with the Lord. So this is like an example he gives, that a big snake eats a small snake. So we should be very careful with that part also. So he says that he says to the poor man, the astrologer says to poor man that please don't go to the northern side also. And philosophically, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the northern side is nothing but the meditational yoga. And then he says, don't go to the western side also, because in the western side there is mental speculation. Mental speculation is like the Jnana yogis. So we ourselves actually speculate so many things, like this may be this reason, that may be this reason. So that is why he says the treasure actually is present for the poor man, which is like a jiva. The treasure is actually present in the form of devotional service. And he says the path for getting out that treasure is actually the devotional service of the Lord. And that one has to dig out and find out that treasure. So once when one gets that treasure of devotional service, then he becomes fully Krishna consciousness. So only in this process of devotional service that hidden treasure can be found out, and then one becomes perpetually rich by actually connecting with Krishna, who is our eternal father. In rest of the cases, on the southern side, there is poisonous snake in the form of Vedic rituals. On the northern side, there is meditational yoga, which is like a python, and there is this on the western side, there is this philosophical mental speculation. So one should be very careful where they have to find the hidden treasure of devotional service. The better is to go on the eastern side where the sun rises, where Krishna is there, where Surya is there. So Krishna is Surya Sama, so find it on the eastern side. So then we can actually get connected to our eternal father, who is fully rich, fully happy, full of all opulences, being the son of our eternal father. So we have all rights to enjoy our paternal property of devotional service. So that is where the hidden treasure is. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tries out to bring through the small story of Sarvagna to the poor man. So I'll stop here in the interest of time. Thank you for patiently listening. Hare Krishna.